Paddy Pimblett versus Frevola needs to be next, as Frevola called out Paddy Pimblett for UFC Manchester. Now, who will actually win this fight? Well, before we talk about who to win this fight, let's take a look at their latest performances in which Paddy Pimblett fought Jared Gordon. Very close fight, both went back and forth, both had some great shots, but Paddy Pimblett ended up outlanding Jared Gordon and ended up taking it by decision.
By unanimous decision, Paddy!
At this, Paddy Pimblett went out to fight Tony Ferguson, in which Paddy Pimblett dropped Tony Ferguson in round 1. Paddy Pimblett also had a lot of ground control, won almost every single round, and ended up taking it by decision.
For the winner, by unanimous decision, Paddy!
Let's take a look at Frevola's latest performances, in which he fought Drew Dober, in which Frevola TKO'd Drew Dober in round 1.
Frevola, after Dober had landed.
At this, he went out to fight Benoit Saint Denis, in which Benoit Saint Denis knocked out Frevola in round 1.
But this is a grueling fight. Oh, head kick!
Now, here's the thing. I think most UFC fans will understand and will know that Paddy Pimblett is ducking Frevola, because if we remember back in UFC 288 in Frevola's post-fight interview, he caught out Paddy Pimblett in a pretty funny way.
Paddy Pimblett, you absolutely suck!
And that's when Paddy Pimblett was on a 4-fight winning streak in the UFC, and Frevola was on a 3-fight winning streak with all coming by knockout. And ever since then, both men only had one fight, in which you already know Paddy Pimblett beat Tony Ferguson, and Frevola got knocked out by Benoit Saint Denis. So now, what can we expect from this fight? And is Paddy Pimblett actually ducking Frevola because he knows what Frevola is capable of? Well, I do believe that's the case, because based off where both men currently stand, neither man are ranked. But I will have to say that Paddy Pimblett has everything to worry about here, because he has gotten saved by the UFC. For example, that fight against Tony Ferguson shouldn't even be considered a real fight, because Tony Ferguson was already on a 6-fight losing streak, and Paddy Pimblett still couldn't finish the job early. Meanwhile, Frevola stopped Drew Dober and had a tough fight against a very dangerous opponent, Benoit Saint Denis, who put up a very good fight against Dustin Poirier. So in the end, I believe that Frevola will expose Paddy Pimblett if this fight does end up happening, as I can see Frevola getting very aggressive, putting on a lot of pressure, landing some big shots, and hurting Paddy Pimblett, and then ultimately knocking out Paddy Pimblett.